David had it all: wealth, success, and a thriving tech empire that he had built from the ground up. But life, with its unpredictable twists, was about to test him in ways he never imagined. Diagnosed with a severe heart condition, David's world crumbled. The relentless medical bills threatened to dismantle everything he had worked for. Just when hope seemed lost, a figure from his past emerged: Michael, his old business partner, now poised to offer salvation. As David battles for his life and the survival of his company, Michael's unexpected return raises questions. Is he here to help, or does he have his own agenda? Their renewed partnership holds the promise of redemption, but also the risk of betrayal. What unfolds next is a gripping tale of friendship, resilience, and the power of second chances. Stay with us to uncover the twists and turns of David's journey. How far will he go to protect his legacy? David was always a man with a clear vision and unshakable determination. From a young age, he dreamed of building something big, something that would leave a lasting impact. With hard work and dedication, he founded his own tech company. Year after year, David poured his heart and soul into his business. He started small, working long hours from a cramped office, but his passion and innovative ideas quickly set him apart. Clients started to notice, and soon, his company was known for delivering cutting-edge solutions that no one else could match. David's empire grew steadily. He hired a team of brilliant minds who shared his vision, and together, they transformed the company into a powerhouse. The office moved from that tiny space to a sleek, modern building in the heart of the city. Revenue soared, and accolades poured in. Success wasn't just measured in profits for David. It was in the way his employees thrived, how his clients trusted him, and the respect he garnered in the industry. His company became a symbol of innovation and integrity, a testament to what could be achieved with relentless effort and unwavering belief. David stood at the pinnacle of his career, a true titan in the tech world. His company wasn't just successful. It was solid, a fortress built on a foundation of hard work, loyalty, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. Life was moving fast for David, and he loved every second of it. But then came the day that changed everything. It started with a nagging discomfort in his chest, something he brushed off as stress. After all, he was running a major company and handling 100 things at once. But when the pain intensified, his team urged him to see a doctor. David walked into the hospital, expecting a quick checkup. Instead, he left with a heavy heart and a diagnosis that rocked his world. The doctor sat him down and explained that he had a severe heart condition. It was life-threatening, and without immediate treatment, the prognosis was grim. Shockwaves of fear and disbelief coursed through David. How could this be happening? He was always so full of energy, so unstoppable. But now, faced with this harsh reality, he felt vulnerable and scared. As he sat in his car, the weight of the diagnosis pressed down on him. The strong, confident businessman who could conquer any challenge was now facing a battle he never anticipated. He thought about his company, his employees, and everything he had built. The future, once so bright and promising, now seemed uncertain and fragile. David knew he had to fight, not just for himself but for everything and everyone he cared about. But this time, the challenge was unlike any he had faced before. This time, it was his own life on the line. David's days turned into a blur of doctor's appointments, treatments, and restless nights. The once vibrant and unstoppable entrepreneur was now confined to hospital beds and medical consultations. The costs of his treatment skyrocketed, and the bills began to pile up at an alarming rate. Each invoice was a stark reminder of his precarious situation, both health-wise and financially. His company, his pride and joy, started to feel the strain. Without David at the helm every day, cracks began to appear. His team did their best, but the absence of their fearless leader was palpable. Revenue dipped, and soon, financial pressures mounted. It wasn't long before David's savings were drained, and the company's finances took a hit. David lay awake at night, his mind racing faster than his weakened heart. He couldn't let his illness destroy everything he had worked so hard to build. He couldn't let down the people who depended on him. But the reality was harsh. Medical expenses were draining his resources, and debt was looming over his beloved company like a dark cloud. Desperation set in as David searched for solutions. He explored every option, from loans to selling assets, but nothing seemed viable. Time was slipping away, and so were his chances of saving his company. Every moment he spent in treatment was a moment lost in the fight to keep his empire afloat. The stakes had never been higher, and the clock was ticking mercilessly. David's spirit, however, remained unbroken. He knew he had to find a way, some way to turn the tide. As he sat in his hospital room, he vowed to fight with every ounce of strength he had left. This battle wasn't just against his illness. It was a race against time and debt, a fight to preserve his legacy and his future. Just when David thought all hope was lost, a familiar face reappeared in his life. One afternoon, as he sat in his office, sifting through yet another stack of bills, his phone rang. The voice on the other end was one he hadn't heard in years, Michael, his old business partner. Years ago, David and Michael had started the company together. They were a dynamic duo, but eventually, their paths diverged. Michael pursued other ventures while David stayed and built their dream into an empire. Despite the distance, there was always a mutual respect between them. Michael had heard about David's illness and the struggles his company was facing. Touched by the situation and remembering the early days of their partnership, he decided to reach out. They met the next day, and as soon as Michael walked into the room, the weight on David's shoulders felt a little lighter. They talked for hours, reminiscing about the past and discussing the present crisis. Michael listened intently as David laid out the dire financial situation and the looming debts. Without hesitation, Michael made an offer that took David by surprise. He proposed to buy a significant portion of the company, injecting enough capital to cover all medical debts and ensure the best possible care for David. David was overwhelmed with gratitude and relief. Michael's gesture wasn't just a business deal. It was an act of friendship and solidarity. With Michael's investment, the company would be saved, and David could focus on his recovery without the constant fear of financial ruin. For the first time in months, David felt a glimmer of hope. The return of his old partner brought not just financial relief, but also a renewed sense of purpose. Together, they could navigate this storm and perhaps emerge stronger than ever before. With Michael back in the picture, the air around David seemed to lighten. They dove straight into negotiations, their old synergy quickly rekindling. It wasn't just about money. It was about ensuring the company's future and, more importantly, David's health. Michael proposed a detailed plan. He would buy a substantial stake in the company, providing an immediate infusion of capital. This would cover all of David's medical expenses and stabilize the company's finances. In return, Michael would take an active role in the company's management, sharing the burden and helping steer the ship through these turbulent waters. David, though initially hesitant, saw the wisdom in Michael's plan. They hammered out the details, ensuring both the company's interests and David's health were prioritized. The negotiations were intense, but every point brought them closer to a solution that felt right. As they finalized the deal, David felt a sense of relief wash over him. For the first time in months, he could see a path forward that didn't involve losing everything he'd built. Michael's investment wasn't just a financial lifeline. It was a testament to the bond they shared and the faith Michael had in their collective vision. Paperwork was signed, and with it, a new chapter began. David's team, initially wary of the changes, quickly saw the benefits. Morale improved, and the company began to stabilize. More importantly, David could now focus on his recovery, knowing that the business was in capable hands. Michael's return and their successful negotiations brought a renewed sense of hope. It wasn't just about surviving anymore. It was about thriving together. With the immediate crisis averted, David could finally breathe easier, ready to face the next steps with his old friend by his side. With the company stabilized and his financial burdens eased, David could finally turn his attention to his health. The days that followed were filled with treatments, rest, and a newfound determination to heal. Surrounded by the best medical care money could buy, thanks to Michael's investment, David felt a renewed sense of hope. Recovery wasn't easy. There were days when the fatigue seemed unbearable, and the road ahead looked impossibly long. But David was not alone. His family, friends, and even his employees rallied around him, offering support and encouragement at every turn. Michael visited regularly, updating him on the company's progress and sharing stories of their early days to lift his spirits. David threw himself into his recovery with the same vigor he once dedicated to his business. He followed his doctor's advice meticulously, embraced a healthier lifestyle, and attended every therapy session with determination. Slowly but surely, he began to see progress. The color returned to his cheeks, his strength grew, and the constant ache in his chest started to fade. One morning, after months of relentless effort, David took his first steps outside without assistance. The sun felt warmer, the air fresher, and the world seemed full of possibilities again. He walked through the park, each step a testament to his resilience and willpower. During his recovery, David also had time to reflect. He realized the importance of balance, of not just building a successful business, but also taking care of oneself and cherishing the moments with loved ones. This period of healing taught him humility and gratitude, deepening his appreciation for life and the people around him. As he regained his strength, David began to visit the office more frequently. The team welcomed him back with open arms, inspired by his journey and the lessons he shared. His presence, though not as constant as before, was a beacon of hope and a reminder of what they were all striving for. David's recovery wasn't just about overcoming illness, it was about transformation. He emerged from this ordeal not just as a survivor, but as a stronger, wiser, and more compassionate leader, ready to embrace the future with renewed vigor and a heart full of gratitude. As David fully regained his health, he felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the second chance he'd been given. The journey had been grueling, but it had also opened his eyes to what truly mattered. His priorities had shifted, and he was determined to make the most of this new chapter in his life. Back at the office, things were better than ever. Michael's influence had revitalized the company, and David's team worked with a renewed sense of purpose. But David's focus wasn't solely on work anymore. He made time for his family, cherishing every moment with them. He rekindled old friendships and formed new ones, realizing that these connections were the true foundation of his happiness. One evening, at a company celebration, David took the stage to speak. The room fell silent as he began to share his story, the trials, the fear, the unwavering support from those around him. He spoke of Michael's incredible generosity, the relentless efforts of his team, and the love that had carried him through his darkest days. Tears filled the eyes of many in the audience as David expressed his deepest gratitude. He talked about the lessons he'd learned, the importance of balance, and the value of compassion. His words resonated deeply, touching everyone present. They saw not just a successful businessman, but a man who had faced unimaginable adversity and emerged stronger, kinder, and more appreciative of life's blessings. After the speech, David mingled with his guests, feeling a profound sense of fulfillment. He had fought a battle he never anticipated, and with the help of those who cared about him, he had won. This new beginning was not just about rebuilding his company. It was about living a life rich in love and gratitude. As the night drew to a close, David stood with Michael, looking out over the city that had seen his rise, his fall, and his resurgence. They spoke quietly about the future, filled with optimism and plans for the road ahead. David knew that whatever challenges came next, he wouldn't face them alone. This new beginning wasn't just a return to normalcy. It was a celebration of life, love, and the power of human connection. David's journey had come full circle, and he was ready to embrace every moment with a heart full of gratitude and a spirit soaring with newfound joy.